What?
We're live.
You never told me that.
I know. I love doing that to you. I just hit the live button too quick, man. I'm too quick on the trigger finger, you know?
Quick on the draw. I'm totally pivoted with you.
I know. So what can I say? Yeah, so many exciting things happening today.
How many exciting things? Can you count them on one hand?
Oh my gosh. No.
Oh, who are you, by the way?
I'm John Paduchak. JohnPaduchak.com.
Of what?
Of JohnPaduchak.com.
JohnPaduchak.com.
Hey, Troy McDonald's alive.
Troy McDonald is alive. And I'm Dr. Christopher Vogelman of Life Beyond Practice and our lovely digital agency, Maximize Your Media. We just call it Max for short.
Yeah, you know, I never talk about my agency work that much.
You got to talk about your agency.
I do.
How will people know what you do?
They won't. They won't.
You are a trusted guide, an advisor.
I haven't got, the problem is I have a name, but I have not set up the site for it. And
let me do it for you.
Okay, sure.
I'll just cobble it together.
Slap it together with mud and sticks.
I'm going to use bubble gum and Band-Aids and rubber bands.
All of that stuff. All
that. Something sticky.
Oh my gosh.
It'll stick to your ribs.
Exactly. But talking about video, man, we've had quite a fun day with video and working with affiliate stuff, and man, it's been a great
I will let you know also, it's not easy being green.
It's never easy being green.
This is a wonderful juice that my wife made, which has got orange juice and kale and spinach and God knows what else. There are no beets in it this time, so it's not that dark purpley color. No, so this is lunch.
I'm doing my typical run around and sharing here at the end here.
I forgot to share.
Sharing is caring.
It must mean that I don't care because I don't share. What about share? Do you believe in love after all?
Well, I'm all shared away.
It's the only share I got. Oh yeah, you've been sharing away there. You're popping up on my Facebook.
I hopped right on there.
Hopping, and chopping. I'm gonna find that feed so I can share.
Can't beat the green drink. No, I've heard this.
The green drink is really good. I mean, well, these are all handcrafted in Mama Maggie's kitchen.
Handcrafted green drinks. I have to get more
green drinks.
I have to get more into that. Like I use a lot of different drinks, but I don't like juice my own stuff into my own green drink or grind.
Well, this is actually pretty awesome in terms of keeping you. Every time I consume one of these, my mind just clears quite a bit, and I find I have more energy and more focus. And so in terms, when I look at this thing, it's not just for health; it's a productivity tool.
Well, yeah, you know, I probably should do that more often. So what's in it? What's the recipe? Is it a secret?
All I know there's definitely oranges in there because it's kind of pulpy.
Definitely oranges in there. I can tell.
It's pulpy and it's sweet, but I any green that's around. I mean, they were putting in kale last week, and they were dumping in kale, spinach, celery. Gosh, I don't even know.
Celery is great. Celery is great for you.
Celery is great for you.
Celery for a while.
Well, a salary is even better, but there's no security. We know that there is no such thing as job security anymore. So
not today, anyways.
It didn't exist before either, but people had the illusion that you were secure if you had a
no matter what you did. Even we had that illusion.
Yeah, the JOB. So
salary. So it's either salary or salary.
Celery. I'm going to sell you. I'm going to sell you on the celery and not sell you on a salary.
Nice.
Say that 5 times fast.
So now do you juice it or do you?
We have an old Champion juicer. I won't say too old. No, this is just. See, I mean, I think ideally like a Vitamix or NutriBullets or some of the others is perhaps ideal. But this is sufficiently pulpy, despite the fact it's gone through a strainer, that there's a ton of nutrients in this one. But ultimately, your best deal is really to get the whole food and nothing but the food. So help me God. So
yes, I've heard this.
You've heard this before. So help me God.
I have.
I still haven't shared anywhere, so you got me distracted with your What are
I
you
did.
drinking?
I started.
I
writing
shouldn't have
my
shown you
last
the drink, but I
few
was
questions. No,
thirsty.
that's all right. And then Troy asked. He's like, "You can't beat the." He said, "You can't beat the green drink."
The green drink is good. I
Just
mean, Kermit said it's not easy being green. I can tell you, it's really easy when somebody else makes it for you.
right,
So,
right. Tomorrow you'll have my drink, which is of choice, which is Guinness. So
hey, that's my choice. You stole my choice. Yeah, but do you have the Guinness glass?
I wanted to go on the beer fast. Did you hear about the beer fast?
No, it's how you get drunk fast.
No. There supposedly there is a beer fast.
Beer
And,
fast. So all
the-
you drink is beer.
Yeah, all you drink is beer
For how long?
like a month. I think it's like a month.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
It's some kind of double Bach. And
Wow.
this guy who wrote about it had to actually get permission from his employer so that he could continue to do the fast while
at work in his slightly snookered state.
Maybe. He said he was not slightly snookered. I think that's the benefit of double Bach, which is usually a little bit less alcoholic.
Double Bach.
Double Bach beer. Yeah.
Is that the one that the Beatles talk about? Get Bach to where you once belonged?
I don't think so.
Right. Just checking.
Get Bach to where you once belonged. Exactly.
JoJo.
But
I still haven't shared. I can't believe I still haven't shared.
Get at that thing, will you? Come on.
I'm doing my best. There's 3 people watching, so they're lurkers.
Apparently. Who's watching us today? I see Troy.
I see Troy. Troy can't beat the green drink. I see. He's talking about the beats.
He's saying beat.
It's just Troy. Troy's the only one. Beat. We got the beat.
I love beats.
Beats
don't have to like me though all the time.
Why?
Gout. I have gout.
No.
I do.
Gout.
I do.
Let it all out.
The one thing that aggravates a little bit.
Jeez Louise, that's not a good thing to have.
Fortunately, it doesn't bother me much, but
good.
Every once in a while.
That's why you have to stay on the straight and narrow as far as your nutrition.
That's why you have to drink lots of water is the secret.
True. Lots of water. But wait, so how does Guinness come into the picture here? Or your double Bach or whatever you're thinking of?
Yeah, because you're not supposed to do that if you have that problem, but it doesn't seem to bother me.
Well, but they remember the old slogan, Guinness, it's good for you.
It is good for you.
Yeah.
It was actually prescribed medicinally.
It was prescribed medicinally. Yes, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharing to my pages here. What else?
What else
you got going?
Crying out loud, you're a doctor.
I'm really slow. I'm a slow doctor.
I guess.
I don't believe in fasting. I believe in slowing. It takes longer, but it gets you there.
It gets you, yeah, at the end of the day. It's like the tortoise and the hare kind of thing.
Hair of the dog.
Slowing. All right. So what shall we talk about today?
I have here, we're talking about video and all things marketing.
Video and all that. Oh, that's
and beer.
Pretty wide open topic.
Apparently beer also.
Apparently beer comes up on the menu.
Did you share this to Troy's group?
I did. I would
bless you.
Not do that.
Bless you, my son.
Exactly. So yeah. So we can talk about video.
Well, you were shooting a bunch of videos. Were you doing?
I was shooting a bunch of videos today. I was testing my Pivo, which
that just sounds like something that somebody's totally peeved off or something.
I know, and it's funny. I have a Pivo and a Mevo.
What, you have a TiVo?
And I don't have a TiVo.
No TiVo.
I have Pivo,
Mevo. It's like Huey, Dewey, but no Louie.
TiVo is very different. And that's for a very different thing. I have something similar to TiVo, but it's not TiVo.
Oh.
Anyways, Pivo is.
Tell me about Pivo.
Pivo is a piece of equipment. It's like a little round thing about like that.
Do you have it with you or no?
I don't. I left it in my mobile office.
How could you?
I know we're gonna talk about it. I left it out there.
How could you? This is like show and tell. Show and tell. I'm bringing in my parakeet for show and tell. Oops, I forgot the bird.
I guess I'll just have to describe it. It's kind of like my friend Ken, who likes to draw and do all these little drawings, and stick drawings and stuff.
You need a stick drawing.
And then, something doesn't work with his pad or whatever. So it's just a small device. And it's got its own application for video and stills.
Oh.
And it's got a remote so it moves around. But it doesn't work with the live video programs, at least not that I found yet.
Why? Well, I thought you did. But you did a Facebook Live, didn't you?
I did, but
But was it through the?
I wasn't using its app to do that. I was using it to move the camera,
I
but I
am so
wasn't using its
confused.
own app. I
Wait,
know.
wait. Go. Rewind.
Let
Be
me
kind. Be kind and rewind that for a minute. Okay,
Okay.
so you have this little Pivo thing
Little
that
device.
goes around and around.
Correct. And it's cool because your phone will fit right down. It's got a little slot that your phone fits in,
Okay.
and then it rotates 360 degrees.
All right.
But it's nice because it's a very smooth rotation. I bought it because originally I was going to do live video work for real estate agents and agencies,
Oh, okay.
and I wanted to be able to, put it, like, say for instance, put it in somebody's dining room and be able to do a smooth pan all the way around the house, kind of a scenario.
Like the kitchen island, and just go around.
Yeah, and run like a smooth pan all the way around in different rooms.
There are a lot of pans in most kitchens,
Yes, there is a lot
and
of
hopefully
that.
they're smooth.
And hopefully some pots too.
Well, it's legal. It's legal in California.
Yeah. Well, it is in Massachusetts too.
Oh boy. So back to the Pivo.
Yeah,
Sorry.
The Pivo's got its own app, and
Okay.
the app lets you do stills. It lets you do some changes to the balance of the camera from it,
Like the white balance or the actual physical balance?
like the white balance, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, like some white balancing, and then it lets you. I'm trying to think of what else is on it mentally.
It just sort of waves at you like you.
It doesn't wave at you. No.
Are you practicing your hula?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was just wondering. Forget Hulu. John has hula.
I have hula. Yes. So it does different things in the app. They'll let you do video and stills.
Okay, so you have the app, but how did you broadcast in the 30-day live video challenge?
I just went and I used it to move the camera, but I didn't use that app. I just broadcast it like I would any other Facebook Live.
Oh, so you don't need the app.
You don't need the app, but I think that it will tie in to that stuff. I just haven't quite figured out how yet. It'd be nice because it actually has like a face sensor, and it will move with your face or with your body.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So it'll follow you around naturally. So like if I was doing a video, here's the reason I got it. I saw somebody broadcasting on it once or using it, and I said to myself, wow, this would be great. I could set it on my table, and as I'm doing video, I can move around and it'll automatically follow me and pan around while I'm doing video. And so that was my original impetus for buying it. However, I haven't quite gotten that far with it yet.
Oh,
but it was fun. And then I have a Mevo camera, which is really cool.
Mevo. Can you mate the Mevo with the Pivo and get Mevo?
Two different places. I need two different things. Two different places. Right. Two different things. Yeah, because the Mevo camera is pretty cool. It will broadcast directly to Facebook Live or to YouTube, one or the other. And it's a whole camera by itself that you can control with your iPhone or iPad.
So is it like a Logitech or what is it?
It's kind of like that. It's again about this big by this wall. It's a cylinder, and it looks like a giant eyeball kind of in the cylinder. I know, it's kind of creepy. It looks like a giant eyeball in the cylinder. And but it's really nice. It's a really great camera, and you can zoom it in. So I use it a lot on my deck in the summer to zoom into shots and do. You
get shots of
stuff like that, or
ballpark Franks on the grill, so you can keep an eye on them.
Yeah, can watch dinner.
You can watch dinner. I'd rather eat dinner than watch dinner.
Oh my gosh, I know. So yeah, lots of cool technology for video to play around with. I like to keep up with the newest stuff.
Can you use that, let's say, for an Instagram Live or no? The interface is not there.
I don't know if you can now or not.
Experiment with that one.
I think you could.
Yeah.
I actually think you could. For the longest time, it really worked just with Facebook and with YouTube, but now where Facebook and Instagram are related, owned by the same company.
It's Finstagram.
Yeah. So I think it might show up that way.
Actually, sometimes I call it the Instabook.
But it wouldn't be Instagram Live per se.
Oh, it wouldn't?
No, I mean, not with Instagram Live per se that it would work. It'd be more like it would work with your Facebook Live that would then show up on your Instagram.
Show up into Instagram. I haven't seen that yet. Does that really happen? Your Facebook Live goes into Instagram?
I've seen it go the other. I've seen it go more the other way. People, their Instagram stuff posting on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Instagram, the Instagram stories then being sent over to Facebook. Some people do maybe 20 stories, and they may send 3 to 5 of them to their Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we've been doing all kinds of unique stuff with StreamYard and Be Live and Zoom, testing different things out with a couple people doing streamathons this weekend. One of which is Julia. Julia is doing a.
Oh yes, from
right.
the greater New York City area.
The greater New Jersey.
Well, it's New York City.
It is.
You can see Manhattan from her window.
Hey, here's a familiar guy joining us.
Who's joining us?
Who
are you? Who are you, and why are you here?
I see him so very little.
Me too.
I just hacked into your video. That's all. I don't know who are you guys.
The way I see him very little, I just cover my eyes.
He's like that photo bomber. You get going on something.
He is. I can feel him behind me.
Up in the back.
Right.
My hair stands up on the back of my neck when he shows up. Just before he shows up.
I got my special headset on. I had that on because I've been listening to music and stuff. I was working and haven't taken them off. So
nice. Also,
turn on my light
with your hands.
Do they keep your ears warm?
Probably.
He's not talking to us anymore.
I said let me turn on my light, so I'm getting a better light.
I don't know. Are you? Yeah, you're a little better illuminated now.
Yeah, you sound a little more today than normal.
A little bit better.
Yeah. You sound like you're in a NASCAR or something. Like
I know.
Coming from a pit stop.
I
just like
you're going around.
I'm running low on fuel, guys. I need my tires changed.
Let me check where I see what it's doing. All right, let me switch this here.
This is always an experiment. We always are figuring out how do we tweak sound? How do we tweak pictures?
Normally, it's always an experiment.
Yeah, constantly.
Does it sound better now?
Oh my gosh, it sounds great.
Man,
now you sound like you're a TV broadcaster.
I know. Like you belong here.
Yeah.
It's good. At 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Exactly.
Is it 4 o'clock?
So I hear you got I was gonna make a longer statement like at 4 o'clock we'll have the but I just stopped at the 4 o'clock thing.
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Because after 4 o'clock. So
I hear you guys talking about video and stuff and all your different devices and fun goodies and stuff.
I'm listening, but I'm hearing about the Pivo, the Mevo, but he doesn't have a TiVo.
No TiVo.
He levo the TiVo.
Levo my TiVo, like Lego my ego. So
I like to keep up with the newest things.
Yeah, I like a lot of video equipment and all that good gadgetry. In fact, I've been looking today into some various different. I mean, I've already had been looking into even way before all this stuff for using my iPad to draw on the screen and all that good stuff like that. And I've done some in the past, but I'm just looking at what the latest apps are for it and all that kind of stuff. So because I'm gonna be doing some more focused marketing videos and stuff like that. So and streams.
Yes, I've been thinking about that myself.
So what do you use for drawing on an iPad? Because that intrigues me. I mean, I have a really old iPad, like it was generation 2. I think I'd have to update the iPad to accomplish what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have an update. You need to have either pretty much any of the pro versions of iPad will work for you. Mm-hmm. But then of course you're spending more for the pro version. Yeah. But then I don't have my iPad with me right now. I have it upstairs. Hey, how do you even know where I am right now?
I don't.
I know. I'm like, I just announced upstairs. I'm like, they don't even know where I am.
I
But
think
apparently
you're-
that says that I'm down.
I
I'm
just
down
think
now.
that you're.
You could be in your tea shed.
I think
I'm
you're
in
in
a dungeon.
I think you're in a tent in Saudi Arabia.
That's possible.
That's what I believe.
Could be. But the most recent, or it might even be, I'm trying to remember if they've released another one since. So it's either last year's or it's the most recent version of the iPad will now also work with the writing devices. So you don't have to go pro. It used to only be a pro option for the iPad.
Okay.
Right.
And I will say that they have two versions now of the iPencil. So there was the previous one, which was completely round, and it could, like roll off of things, et cetera, et cetera. And then they had there's the newer one that will dock onto the top of your iPad, and it will charge at the same time. But I don't suggest actually going with either one of those because I have the original one for my iPad Pro. I actually we have 3 in the house as far as iPads. One is a Pro, which died on me. Long story that I don't want to get into. I might get violent, but anyway.
Okay, we'll have to boot you.
No violence. And the pencil itself that I had for it, which is the first generation, died on me as well. The battery in it, if you don't keep it charged with some bit of charge, because I barely even used it. If you don't keep it some bit of charge, whatever, it could just flat out die on you. So you can't even charge anymore. That was $100 out the window.
Yeah, that could be what happened to my old Apple Watch. It hadn't been charged for a long time, and then when I went back to charge it, nothing. So
yeah, that I'm not. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil. Not speak of. No.
That's not the devil. She's an angel.
She is.
Actually, yeah. She was arriving yesterday when I left, and so I left, and I think I was getting. I can't remember if I was gonna grab something to eat or whatever, but I had left this stream on, and when I came back, you guys were still kind of talking a little bit. She was still in there conversing with the viewers.
The viewage. Viewage sounds too much like sewage. I don't know about that.
A little bit.
It depends on where your brain is at.
The viewage.
Yeah.
Today on the viewage.
On the viewage. But what I recommend for your iPad is getting this.
What is this?
The Apple Pen.
No, it's not.
No, what is it?
This is
a magic marker.
Logitech pencil.
Oh, a Logitech pencil.
Oh.
And it has automatic shut off, et cetera, so it shouldn't die.
Good.
Meaning like the Apple version. So, and this is like $70. So I'm like, Apple, you done lost me as a customer for your writing devices or your writing stylus type things. So
what you need to do is upgrade to something fancy like a Mont Blanc.
I'm not going to be writing across that with my iPad. No, I won't.
No.
I won't be doing that.
That's like writing on your iPad with a Sharpie.
Yep.
At least you can wipe it off. I hope.
Well, you're going to get a permanent. Well, you'll get a permanent message on there, so to speak.
Permanent message. Make it positive.
Yeah, depending on if you have a protective thing on top, anyways. But you're not going to. People won't see what you're writing. So if you're using it to present online, it's not going to connect. So
right backwards over my face.
Yeah, but it won't. But I guess me being in the serious mindset and explanation of how things work. Yeah, you won't get the message coming across onto the iPad, and then you won't be able to then push it into your online event.
So can you use the iPad's camera as a second camera also, or no? You go in one mode or the other.
Something.
Well, you can do various things, but the first thing is, are you on a Mac or are you on a PC? So that is yes. So with the Mac, it's a lot easier to do. yeah, there's various different pieces of software to allow you to use it as a second camera if you wanted.
Mhm.
And then there's also other various softwares to actually write onto the screen and into your live event.
So from a nerdy tech thing, could you use your iPad camera on one side, your iPhone camera on the other side, and your resident camera on your MacBook? Or would that just overload your system? You could do 3.
I know of using one of them as an extra camera.
Right.
I haven't really delved into it because I haven't really needed to.
Yeah.
But I do know that you can use one as an additional camera.
I mean,
I've seen in theory, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use another one, because there's a couple different ways you're going to connect to. Either you're going to connect with hardwire, so from one right into your computer, and then you need the software that would work that. And then there's also ones that do work for through I'm thinking Bluetooth, and then you would get a bit of a delay in that. But again, it really depends. Like, so you could have, say like your iPhone, and maybe you want to have it pointed at something, and so you reference that every now and then or something.
My little fish or something. Here's a goldfish. Look at their attention span.
Yeah,
compared it to yours. So.
Or or it could be for something like, say, if you had like a whiteboard. So like I use a whiteboard a lot for just thinking out some ideas. I get into that physical realm of either paper or whiteboard. And so if you wanted to have something on there, you could take a picture of it, but you could also, take your camera and, or your phone and have that pointed to that. And then you just, switch over to it every now and then or something like that. Well, I mean, go ahead.
I was going to say Ecamm, I know it says, which scene that you want to go to. And it gave me the option the other day when I was playing with it for 5 different scenes. So as if you had your multiple screens as well as other devices. I was curious as to what the mechanics would be to connect more than one device.
Yeah, basically what happens is the software apps that you use to kind of connect things together makes the devices as a virtual camera. So then that's where you would select in your Ecamm Live, any your OBS software, anything of what you're using, you select it as it'll be labeled in there or whatever. Some of them let you rename things or whatever, but basically your virtual camera. Even though in reality it's a camera, but they call it a virtual camera,
right?
Kind of thing. So yeah.
Hey, so John, do you like? How do you compare OBS to StreamYard? Or are they totally different animals?
Totally different animals.
I've never played with OBS, so
you should. I think if anybody has never played with it, they definitely should. And there's so many great YouTube tutorials on how to use it. My house is falling in.
Cat attack.
There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, I in fact had OBS open just a bit before I came on, and I've been looking at it a little bit. For different things, I mean, I like to just check stuff out, get nerdy on it for a little while as well.
I kind of like Wirecast better, and then XSplit has a new VCam, which is pretty cool. And then
really? Does XSplit still do? I'm trying to remember correctly.
They still have an OBS-like product, just XSplit Broadcaster, and then XSplit also has VCam, which gives you some different things with your camera itself. And then Logitech came out with their own VCam-like software directly. Logitech Broadcaster, I think it's called. I'd have to go look at the name for sure. But
okay. Yeah, I didn't know they had come out with VCam. I knew about actually what originally was their XSplit Gamecaster, because their whole big thing or draw was really to the gamer crowd.
Yes, they have Gamecaster and then Broadcaster, and then now they got the VCam.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to look into the VCam just out of curiosity, see what the feature set is. Do they do a Mac version as well then, or PC only?
I believe they have both.
Oh,
okay.
I believe they have both. Yeah. Yep. So that's a new one, and then I started playing with Wirecast a little bit because way back when Sterling Valentine and I were doing Google Hangouts broadcasts, we were playing around with Wirecast. And he always told me the PC version is less friendly. Like the Mac version was really easy to meet up with things. But I played around with the PC version recently. It's not bad at all. I really kind of like it.
John, are you on a PC then?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking at Wirecast.
Yeah.
And was contemplating it on. I'm trying to think if it was like their Black Friday deal. Like they had a really pretty good deal and stuff.
Cool.
But I wasn't even doing any live stuff. So I was like, someday I might, and that's what I might use. And but at the same time, I'm like, the deal, should I, shouldn't I? I'm like,
I know. You always got your little
plans. So I didn't pick it up. But I mean, it being a Mac company mainly, that's part of why I was looking at, because I knew the software would be kind of geared towards Macs. I did just verify, just FYI, on that the XSplit VCam is only at this point in time a PC product.
Okay.
At this time, so
I couldn't remember.
That's not politically correct for me.
No, not politically correct for you. But you got eCam, so quit complaining.
Hey, I'm just playing with different things today. I got that different microphone, different earbud thing.
Cool. eCam's one of those things that if you're a PC guy, you go, oh my gosh, why didn't they have that for PCs? Because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's ManyCam too, which works pretty well.
Did you guys, who was it, you guys I was talking to? I was doing so many lives, I can't always remember who I was telling about, but I'm a pet peeve dude I have a pet peeve with eCam Live because.
Oh yeah, you do have a pet peeve about paying for software. It was us.
Oh yeah. I was now I remember. Yep, it was because.
I'm like, what's that pet peeve again? Oh yeah.
What is that pet peeve?
Now I remember.
Well, their software just really doesn't warrant to me a recurring fee.
No.
So
very simple piece of software. It definitely does not
well, and the thing is, it didn't used to have it, and so they had just jumped on the bandwagon to get the recurring. And
of course they did.
Well, but do they make improvements on it or in it, or not?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. But what was wrong with their model of that? Was my whole discussion was like, what's wrong with their model that you pay? I don't mind paying for an update. But
I gotcha.
I don't need to pay you, monthly for something. And I mean, heck, even part of it to me, I think of it as like the way that it's brought across. So let's say, for example, they said, okay, well, our normal updates were like, say, $50 a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then, heck, just charge me, $4 like charging $4 a month or something like that, or let me pay it, one-time year update. But they're like. They're charging an amount that like makes it monthly that unless you're providing updates for me monthly, because it's not like you're streaming through their servers, you're not using anything to me that's really that's intensive on their end at all.
Right. And
so to me, I would like to use it, meaning like I have a lot of friends that use it. Seems to be pretty cool, etc. And would work with like my, they have some stuff with the Stream Deck and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying no recurring fee for something that it doesn't warrant it. You know what I mean?
So Stream Deck work only with Mac too?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Does your Stream Deck work with Mac?
Oh, it works. Yeah, it works with both.
That works with both. Cool.
Yeah, PC and Mac.
Very cool.
So yeah, I've been messing with that a little bit today too as well. Kind of programming some more keys on it and everything. So
nice.
Yeah, and in fact, I think there's a little bit more support on the add-ons for Stream Deck. Now, Stream Deck is pretty like agnostic. You know what I mean? It's just a device kind of thing.
What is the advantage of Stream Deck? I mean, I get the idea of the one-touch button thing, but what's the whole purpose behind it?
Well, let's say, for example, I'm doing some kind of live thing with you guys and whatnot. So I could sit here and I could talk to you, and I know which certain buttons are what on here. Mm-hmm. And I can easily just press a button versus my mouse. I'm going to click over to here and get this, then that, and the other thing, and just not kind of either looking like I'm connected or just having to fiddle with a whole bunch of in-depth menus or whatever. Because there may be, for example, a keyboard shortcut. Right. Well, who wants to have to remember all those? and
Right.
I could put one button on here that does a specific thing that might even be in a layered shortcut or something. You know what I mean? So with my mouse, I have to go in, and then I have to go.
I
Oh
gotcha.
wait, yeah, all that stuff. I mean, so there's a lot of different things that you can do
So
too,
it just
because you can also do.
simplifies it. Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you're on the fly, you don't have to remember which program am I in and where's the button, because I see the buttons in different places for starting and stopping.
It'd be funny if it were a chat button. You could just program in your replies.
Yeah.
Well, you actually can do various things with it though. You can program it to do. Think of it as just macro keys. So you could have a button do whatever pretty much.
I want the hi Troy button. Just stick it in there, and then I don't have to bother saying hi Troy.
Well, we actually are out of the actual buttons that you put into the Stream Deck, but we can have our tech people talk to you how to make it work, and then you got
the hi Troy button.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been doing recently with video, like say messing a little bit around with OBS, the Stream Deck, that kind of thing. And then, I mean, kind of like if you want to then start going down the rabbit hole, like in my group to the live event marketers, I did a little screenshot of how people can actually share various. So instead of if they hit the share button, it doesn't really give my group any credit. Or I should say, depending on how the post is put into the group, it won't give the group any love. So I showed people, hey, if you want to share it with a friend or on your own, page or whatever, here's how you get the actual link or the permalink for that post in my group, and then they can paste it wherever they want, and then it basically throws them into my group. They'll come visit my group to see that post, which has that live stream in it.
So I'm not showing you any love at all.
I missed that. Was that sarcasm or was that serious?
He's semi-serious, meaning he's doing.
Okay, I only heard I heard the last word of it. So sorry.
Sharing with share to the group. So I don't know.
No. You are fine for sharing into the group. What I'm saying is, so somebody comes along and says, "Hey, I like what these guys are talking about today." So you normally have your Facebook, shared link, but I can give you the actual link to the post in my group.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
But now, does that make a difference though if your group is private versus public? I mean, do you have to change any settings to allow that?
Good question. So, and in fact, I'm going to talk again about that in my live stream tonight in my group.
Oh, cool.
Because what'll happen sometimes, so if in a group you share, so I have shared some live events, but they're in a private group.
Yeah.
And they're only private just because, they want to, approve people or whatever, which is kind of weird because most people that have private groups, they approve anybody that comes. You know what I mean?
Well, I can tell you, I recently had our Total Health Live group, and I had to change it to private because I was being spammed. And so, people are posting stuff and they were automatically appearing, and people were sending me messages saying, I don't think you want this in your group. Okay,
well then here's what you want to do. You want to go into your settings. You can still make it public, but then every post has to be approved.
Got it. Yeah, that's better. I left that whole thing wide open because I wanted members, but now it's like,
yeah. So mine is wide open, but the posts are approved because I don't want somebody posting. And most people actually have been pretty cool about it. They're like, hey, Troy, can I post this? And I'm like, well, I can see where that would be business or marketing related, but I'm not exactly sure. Like, so fill me in. And then some people are like, oh, well, yeah, we were going to touch on it like a real little bit, not enough to where they felt like it would be valuable. So they'll say, yeah, go ahead, don't go and post it. And other ones are like, oh yeah, we're going to do this and this. I'm like, okay, because you can't really tell by the stuff. So I'm like, you might want to reword it a little bit different. So members going through won't just go, oh, that, skip past that. It doesn't look valuable to me. So then Facebook will notify me, hey, you got somebody looking for a post that's pending. So I'll look at it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then I go ahead and approve that. Then the cool thing is, so like, for example, John, and I think you are, Dr. B as well, are both set to pre-approved.
Oh, wow.
So
do I get a credit line of $10,000?
Come on, Troy.
Our max for pre-approved is only $10.
$10. I thought you were going to say $1.89.
So your guys' stuff will go in just automatic.
Cool.
And I've done that for certain people that I trust. And then, anybody who violates that, I'll just put them back on, because you can take that away.
I promise.
Membership has its privileges.
It does.
On my honor, I will do my best to post appropriately and
to post appropriately, to be brave, clean, and reverent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I ran it. I said it as public because I do. I want it for everybody. I don't want somebody to go like, well, I'm kind of looking at doing this stuff, kind of marketing online, and then like, oh, private,
or it turns out to be MLM or something like that.
Well, honestly, I have a couple people in there that are MLM, and they have a lot of marketing background. I don't mind MLM, meaning as
well. I think the marketing part is fine, but if somebody starts recruiting in your group, that's when I draw the line.
Oh well, personally, I mean, when you're in a group, and even if you're not a friend with somebody, and if you don't, and you're not in the group, you can still like send private messages to people.
Yeah, that's a different thing. But I mean, if you're posting things within a group having to do specifically soliciting from somebody in a semi-public way, I think that kind of violates your terms of service or the group guidelines.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
However, here's where I'd be okay with any pitch.
Okay.
Is if you do provide really a lot of value, and then it's the kind of the cool pitch where it's like, hey, so if you want any information on what I'm doing and stuff like that, feel free to hit me up, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff like that. Yeah. But if it's a hardcore pitch thing, then I'm like, well, your value was this, and then your pitch was just there wasn't like, it was like way out of balance. There was some guy that I know that's is in the group, and he wanted to do a straight up pitch in a sense. Well, here's how he did it. He had a post that I declined, and when you decline somebody with a post, the cool thing about it is you can actually just decline it, or you can say, here's why I'm declining you, and it'll give them a message.
Yeah. So
at least you can give them some constructive stuff like, hey, you just need to tone down the way you're maybe saying, or just whatever it is, or just tweak it.
Yeah.
But he had one that it was an event that he wanted to post, and it was all of the event parts were live because they were scheduled out I think it was like a 4-day thing, and there was a fee to it. And I thought, well, okay, to me, all you're doing is posting something that cost money to attend a live thing. Right. So what real value are you providing prior to that? So I told him, I said, hey, why don't you, and it was about how to do a voiceover business. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, why don't, because the guy who was posting it is like the marketing side, which, I mean, since I haven't revealed who it is, he really doesn't know how to do marketing because he couldn't understand what I was trying to tell him. Yeah. But, I was like, why don't you and the guy who's giving all the lesson stuff that's teaching the program, why don't you come on and provide some value? Because all of us are doing these live things. Why don't he, he teach a voiceover something. So he's probably got some voice info he can give and some coaching stuff, and do that. And then say, and we are having this event, which is paid and but there's a link for, and I'd have been completely fine with that.
Sure.
But he just was like,
if it's a straight sale,
well, his response to me was, I don't get what you're talking about. And I'm like, providing value to the group and before, a pitch. I mean, I'm like, and then anyway, that's, there's only so much you can do. But so that's kind of the inner workings of, what I've kind of had to deal with the group and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's actually good that you can give some feedback as to how they can fix it to make it acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah. And heck, I was even like, dude, do what I, famously call the live snippets, which is, hey, it's a 5-minute value drop, and then just say, and hey, we're having an event, a training event, that's, that's paid, and, here's the link.
Hey
Yep.
John, you should do the 30-day live video challenge snippet.
Hmm.
Post in the group.
Could do that.
I think that'd be good.
You absolutely should. I mean,
Yeah.
I mention it and
Great.
whatnot. I
Yeah.
mentioned I've mentioned it quite a few times, the 30-day challenge, and I think you ought to as well. You can kind of just go in there and make it as a, hey, so we've got people in there and they're doing this and that, It's helping them get the practice, and just things that people have learned or people have said or stated or whatever.
Yeah. A tiny value bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, and in fact, I'm going to talk specifically about live snippets in my live tonight in the group.
My snippet is about live snippets.
Well,
like the video that's the pitch about pitching.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, this will be a live. I got quite a few things to say, so it'll probably be more than a snippet on this one.
Yeah.
But where I'm going to show people an example of a live snippet that from Angela, our the trademark lawyer that we have in there, because she does a really good job. I'm going to demonstrate how she does it, because a lot of people, I'm telling them about like live snippet, and they're like, well, what is that? And that's just something I kind of that's just kind of what I've labeled it.
That's good.
And because a lot of people think like, I can't go live for a long time, or I'm nervous or whatever. I'm like, if you got some kind of knowledge, you can just do a quick video live on,
Yeah. That's going to be my next podcast.
I think it's great.
And the thing is, even if you have something like, I've got this material that's about an hour long, but then you could like think of all those snippets you can turn into, you know what I mean? And then come in and drop them every now and then, and you get more eyeballs, more people.
Yeah, I'm thinking also even like leave a little cliffhanger here and there.
You can. Sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You could even say, you could drop a thing and then you open up your open loop or your cliffhanger and say, and tomorrow, or, on my next, live snippet, I'm going to give you this.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what happens next.
Yeah, I'm going to drop the live bomb, and then tomorrow I'm going to drop the live nuke.
I'm dropping a live bomb. I'm nuking my lives.
I'm going to nuke you all.
Speaking of like nuking stuff, one of the it's not a military base. I'd have to look it up again. I looked it up because I was curious too what was going on, but I'm going to pull it up. But
it's not Sandia Laboratory. It's not like Laboratory in New Mexico or something. Area 51.
Well, my dad had posted, because he lives, not too far from me, and then a couple other people were posting too, like, hey, what was those thunderous kind of booms that were happening today? And there's the National Guard was conducting. That's a little ways away from us. Was conducting live fire artillery at Camp Williams.
Ooh.
And because at first like some things were kind of moving and whatnot, and my son was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it may be another earthquake," because we had an earthquake about like a month ago.
We had an earthquake about a week ago in the middle of playing Risk.
I get that every day. I got a Rockport down the road from me.
So yeah, that's my explosive.
We've had a lot of live fire. So they built a new base on the Strand south of Coronado, heading down to Imperial Beach. It's a new base. All these, it looks almost like gigantic ski moguls. Plenty of hills, and there's little buildings, so you know that they're practicing various things for special forces or SEALs or whatever. And in the middle of the night, you'll start hearing rat-tat-tat-tat. It's a little disconcerting when you wake up to that in the middle of your sleep.
Well,
I'm used to the helicopters. I am not used to the rat-tat-tat.
Yeah. Well, especially California being so notorious in a sense for a lot of shooting kind of things.
Well, I mean, believe me, in Coronado, there's plenty of ammunition and armaments in almost every house on the block. So the stupidest thing in the world would be for a criminal to burglarize or do something dumb in Coronado. So
have you guys seen any videos of like any nighttime shooting by those guys where they use some of those tracer rounds? It looks so cool. Yeah. Like see those little lit up rounds going down the thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool looking.
I've never done that. Vision in World War II.
The what?
I said my father used to talk about that before night vision, and
in
World War II. So he said, "Oh yeah, the tracer rounds, they're a hoot."
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
I have to get more.
I've been to like a shooting range and stuff before, but it's always been daytime hours and lit. But I'd love to be able to fire something that you could shoot some tracer rounds just to see it like in real life. It looked pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, you can shoot them in a lot. You can shoot tracer rounds in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I never even thought about it till just now. Like, is it even being an option? You know what I mean? Like going somewhere and being able to get some.
And how would you video that? Would you make live video, or would you?
Wouldn't you have?
Oh, that wasn't the marketing.
Would you do it on Instagram? Instagram Live?
Probably not. Oh my gosh. I know. That might be controversial to some people.
We're getting close to the top.
Well, you know how it is. There's always going to be somebody that's going to that would offend.
Always going to be that. Very true.
So, what do you guys have coming up?
Tomorrow is happy hour.
Yep, tomorrow's happy hour.
I actually did hear you guys mention that, and I heard Guinness as well mentioned.
There's a Guinness between us.
Yes.
It's good for you.
I will have to have my bottle of
Scottish roots.
Make sure it's Mexican Coca-Cola. None of that
Mexican.
corn and syrup.
I actually bought some other ones that I saw while I was there that were cane sugar as well. And I got this one brand that's a root beer, and they're like, like craft so it's like their version or whatever.
Not like Kraft mac and cheese.
No, it's CRAFT.
CRAFT. Okay, good.
C as in Dr. C.
C. No, CC. No.
No.
I always like Jones soda too because of that. Because they had
which
a lot
soda?
Of Jones.
Yeah,
cane sugar.
I've had some of the Jones. This was another one I won't reveal because I wasn't really impressed with their root beer. It has like and I'm not saying that it was bad. It just wasn't for me. It has almost like a little bit of a black licorice flavor to it.
A lot of licorice or something. Anise.
Honestly, my favorite root beer is A&W. I remember the drive-ins. I don't know if you guys ever remembered any of those. If you got to go to them when you were younger,
it's like a Howard Johnson's.
Yeah.
A&W.
The Mama Burger, Papa Burger, all that stuff like that. So
I think one on the Cape.
There used to be a couple. I can't remember.
Around.
Yeah.
I think there's one. Somewhere in my route between when I used to drive from St. Louis to Buffalo, there was an A&W that you could see from the highway. And I think on the New York State Thruway, there is also an A&W somewhere. I can't remember exactly where though.
I don't remember where.
I'm talking about like the actual locations where you can still go kind of do the drive.
This was an A&W.
Yeah, okay. Because I know our local like A&W KFC, it's a combo, but it's not like a drive. You go into the building kind of thing.
Yeah,
but I don't think that like their burgers are the same and stuff like that. But for me, I can't have it now. It's all the corn syrup, but the A&W is my favorite because I like it. To me, it's got a smooth flavor.
Yep.
And
like whereas like some other ones like Barks is a little more what I'd call the harsh root beer flavor. And then there's some that like
IBC was good until they corn syruped it too.
Yeah, IBC. You know what? I hadn't even checked theirs because I kind of thought that. Oh man, they switched over.
Yeah,
it's a lot cheaper.
Well,
corn syrup, so they keep their profit margins up. So
I wouldn't mind paying a reasonable amount more.
Most people wouldn't. The only times we really do Coca-Cola is we bring it from back across the border from Tijuana.
Artificial stuff in me.
Yeah. No, I have enough artificial. I'm trying to make myself organic, so if it does turn really ugly, my family will be able to feed off me. So
great.
Well, there you have it. That's good to know.
It's a good thing to know. Yeah.
I'll grow a nice tree out of you.
Keep yourself. Yeah, exactly. I'll grow crops for you. Just bury me right over there.
Wow.
Dr. V is now the tree.
Dr. V is the tree.
I know. We're just
Dr. V beat a tree.
We're talking today about different niche markets, and I had bought a domain a while back, Modern Family Farm, because I wanted to start talking about because I do a lot of gardening and stuff, and I was starting to do some hydroponic stuff indoors, and so
Are Mitch and Cam part of that
got me thinking the whole
Modern
farm.
Family Farm?
What's that?
Are Mitch and Cam part of that Modern Family Farm?
In Cam?
Modern
I think he's
Family
referring to the show Modern Family,
Show.
which I think I've watched one episode, but
Oh,
and I'm not knocking it. I just
We were addicted to it. It had its finale recently.
No.
So yeah.
oh okay.
Okay. All right. I'm just keeping up with the popular culture. So
I see.
Yes, we appreciate that. You're keeping us young.
I keep I've got a 12-year-old in the house. That's why I know I'm trying to keep
So
you.
tomorrow, what would we like to talk about tomorrow?
Actually, I do have a 12-year-old in the house as well, but right now I just talk
Your
about
12-year-old is aging you? Is that what you're saying?
no. He just does things like he's playing PlayStation right now.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Minecraft. I like them to
Minecraft
play
is
like
great. I have no
I love it
trouble with
myself.
Minecraft. Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
it's very constructive. You really can get a sense of spatial imagination and creativity and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
You know, because I like to, and I also like to play with them in the sense of like, you know, okay, what are we going to build? And I need this and that, and we work together and stuff. So I
I'm
like
not
it.
big on killing all those cows though and the chickens. So
Well, you know, we've talked about that. We're like, it's virtual, and
Yes.
then there's the, you know, in real life,
Oh.
there's they serve a purpose, but unnecessary killing for stuff is unnecessary. You know, that kind of stuff. So
lesson learned.
thus,
Unnecessary killing is unnecessary.
is unnecessary.
I
Yes,
quote you.
tracer rounds or not.
Tracer rounds from Troy.
So, John, you were going to say about tomorrow.
Yeah, what are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah. Do you have any?
The only thing we know we're doing is we're bringing Guinness. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
You know, in some cases, that's all you need, though. I mean, you just need
Bring
to drink.
yourself. Bring yourself and your Guinness. It's Friday.
It's BYOC or B.
Yes. Or
B.
B. G.
And or bottle.
BYOG for me.
Bring your own bottle.
Mine will actually be in a can, but it's the draft can. I like it better than the bottle.
Oh.
I don't like the bottles. I don't know why.
Oh, I always like the bottles better than cans.
No.
I don't know why.
Well, you know what?
There's that carbonation ball in there. There's
That's for the nitro. I like the Guinness
I
Nitro.
like that's the one I eat. I will only do the nitro.
That's good. I like the Guinness Nitro.
I don't drink alcohol, but I will say that drinking from a can and drinking from a bottle, i.e., like the Mexican Coke or whatever, or again like these other ones that I've tried, because these ones are bottled as well. They're like the root beer was that I tried and stuff. It is a different experience, meaning even just like how much you're taking in and the way that the bottleneck works and stuff like that. So
the bottle's definitely better.
it's a different experience.
It's a different experience. It's and if you're in Tijuana, they have all these old taco stands all over the place.
I always found
Half the bottles
were colder.
The what?
Bottles were colder. I thought colder.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're thicker, so they could retain cold a little longer.
They retained the cold better.
But
Go ahead, Tijuana.
In Tijuana, you go to the little taco stands, and they have the sodas are all in bottles, and so they take it, they give you the bottle. You always return the bottle to the vendor. It's really interesting to me because I was thinking, can I take it with me? And they're like, no.
Yeah, they recycle big time. I know that they do Mexican Coke over there. I remember when I was in Spain, like Fanta was big. So you get like Fanta Orange and that kind of stuff.
Fanta's still big in Mexico, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, like, because I could see that in the bottle over there as well.
And I got Fanta with real sugar not too long ago.
Was that your fantasy?
One of the clubs had it.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen the bottles of Fanta. I know that the cans, at least when I last checked, those are the corn syrup.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's really sad is they did Coke in the can. They called it Life. I think it was Coke Life, and it was like part stevia and then part, I think, real sugar. Yeah. So they made it like, and they decided, then they kiboshed that, and I'm like, I would have had that. And then Dr. Pepper used to have their real cane sugar ones, and they kiboshed that too because apparently people weren't buying it enough. But I don't even think they really promoted it. So
no, I think a lot of it's just people who shop on price.
They want to do it.
And corn syrup is so much cheaper for a manufacturer that because the amount of sweetness in corn syrup is just astronomical.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you this question, because are you just assuming, like, do you recall what, say, either one of them were compared to the corn syrup version price? Because I mean, I don't think it was like, okay, you can get like a 12-pack of cans for like $4, but they made the cane sugar like $20 for the 12-pack. I don't think it was like insane.
Because what they did was they just gradually over time took out the cane sugar and put in the corn syrup so they could increase their price margin while decreasing the amount of sweetener.
So what you're saying is the price wasn't necessarily so different.
The price wasn't so much the difference. No, it was the margins that they were after.
All right, that I buy.
Remember, Earl Butz, 1972, Nixon's election. Earl Butz is who brought you corn syrup. So, they wanted to keep food. They wanted to keep food cheap. In
I would like to kick his butt, but anyway. But what I'm saying is that the Coke Life and the Dr. Pepper with cane sugar were more recent.
Oh, okay. I'd never heard of these.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't really market them, and then they're like, nobody adopted them, and I'm like,
wow.
So anyway, I mean, life goes on. You know, Crimea River, Troy, whatever. But
Coke Life does not go on.
I know.
Yeah,
I still can't handle that much cane sugar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, for those who can have it, you know, there's at least an alternative.
It's way better
for the the corn syrup versions that they put out, which is their normal.
Right.
I think that in general, the less sugar you consume, the better off you are. And I've seen so many people, even several members of my distant family, who were so addicted to sugar. It was just phenomenal. It was as if they were heroin addicts. I mean, the cookies, the candy, especially candy, unbelievable amounts of candy consumed by some people.
Oh yeah. That's another ball of wax I won't get into, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like everything really in moderation, and then also according to what your body can handle. I mean, because there's some people, even if they should be moderate, they just say they're having all these issues and they're putting all this food or drink in them that they don't know they have either an allergy to it or some kind of reaction with something else. Yeah, and then
some of the macros like diabetes and heart disease. I mean, those are pretty darn clear. If you've got a strong tendency in your family and you still want to eat as if you're, I don't know, what, Mark Spitz or something like that you can, it's funny too, because I'm not going to get on this tangent too much, but Greg LeMond was the guy who won the Tour de France on several occasions. And he used to down things. One of my friends is a big time bicycle rider, long distance stuff. And he used to down Snickers bars all the time. Like he was just fueling, like he had a furnace, just Snickers after Snickers after Snickers. And the guy wound up overloading his organs, and later in life got what they call a mitochondrial myopathy. And the mitochondria, just the little energy organelles within your cell that are pumping out energy. Well, all of his little energy producers shut down, and the guy could barely even walk.
I remember that.
And it was because he just overloaded himself with sugar. Anybody, an elite athlete who can destroy his body that way, which is kind of crazy. Yeah,
that is kind of crazy.
Anyway, so you're not going to be talking about that tomorrow. So
no.
On that note,
on that blissful and hopeful note that you too can become an elite athlete and kill yourself off.
There you go.
I would my leaving tip would be, so everybody that can, please go have a Snickers and a Coke for me.
Snickers and a Coke. Make sure it's Mexican Coke.
Well, I'm gonna let them have the corn syrup. They're like, support water.
Support your North American neighbors to the south.
Water.
I'll do water too. I'm going to be out of green juice. So
yeah, tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Are we going away?
We're going away.
Yes.
Hang on.
See ya. Wax on, wax off.